Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Sudhir's classes. Here we will talk about the anthropology syllabus. See, anthropology syllabus and the knowledge of syllabus is very important, especially for the students who will be going to take anthropology as an optional, right? It will help you to make a right choice, whether you should choose anthropology or you should not choose anthropology. It depends in perfectly understanding what the syllabus is, right? What is inside the syllabus? What are the hidden elements within the syllabus? So I won't keep this lecture short and I won't finish everything in just 5-7 minutes, because I can do that, but that won't give you a proper understanding of the syllabus. So I will take few themes on which I will explain what all is there, right? So that you can decide whether it is the right optional for you or you should not take it, right? So first and foremost, as every other subject, anthropology optional syllabus is divided into two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is basically general anthropology and paper 2 is mainly the Indian anthropology, you can say, right? Anthropology in India, and in this Indian anthropology we study Indian society, right? Application of, you can say, use of anthropology to understand Indian society and tribal society of India, right? This paper 1 is general anthropology. Here general anthropology, that means everything about anthropology, right? Everything means here we will study the basics of anthropology, right? What anthropology is. We will also study the biological anthropology, because this is one of the major branch of anthropology. Socio-cultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology, and archaeological anthropology, right? What all is there in basics? What anthropology is? What are the major branches of anthropology, right? What is the application of anthropology? How relevant is anthropology for the humankind? Here, what is biological anthropology? Here we will study basically the biological aspect of the man, holistic study of the biological aspect of the man. Here we study origin of man, evolution of man, then genetics, then races, then human growth and development, demographic theories and all demographics, right? How population, you can say, grows and all these aspects. Then application of biological anthropology. In socio-cultural anthropology, we talk about the socio-cultural research methods, right? How anthropologists study culture and society. Here we study various institutions of the mankind like marriage, family, economic system, religion, political organization, etc. Here we also cover anthropological theories. The theories help us to better understand the society and culture and various elements of society and culture. Then linguistic anthropology. In linguistic anthropology, we try to understand the origin of language, evolution of language, and linguistic diversity, right? It also helps us to understand how language and culture are connected, how language affect the culture and how culture in the other hand affect the language. Finally, this archaeological anthropology. Archaeological anthropology basically tries to understand the past remains, material remains of the past, and by finding the past remains, by digging, dating and classifying those remains, we try to interpret, we try to understand the evolution, we try to understand how humans behaved in past, what was the use of that tool, particular artifact, right? That all is basically, you can say, in paper 1, right? Some portion of archaeology is there in this paper 2 also, but that is India specific particularly. So Indian society, that what are the traditional basis of Indian society, all these things, caste and effect of various religions on Indian society, how change aspect is operating in Indian society, that is also part of this chapter, right? Tribal, what are tribals, how we can understand the diversity within the tribes and how we can appreciate Indian diversity. What are the basic problems of tribals and how we can resolve them? What is the problem of communalism, regionalism, etc.? How we can resolve them? So this is all, you can say, basic framework, basic outline of the syllabus, right? But let us dig a little bit deeper into the syllabus so that we can understand more keenly that what the syllabus actually is, right? So basically, if you see your unit 1.1 to 1.3 in the syllabus, first unit part 1 at 1.1 to 1.3. Here we have meaning, scope and development of anthropology. This is in part 1.1, right? That means what anthropology is, right? What is its scope and how it developed as a discipline, that is our purpose of study, right? So you all know that anthropology is the study of men. The scope is very wide. It is covering all aspects of the mankind, and it started as a discipline from, you can say, formally in late 19th century, right? But informally we say that anthropology is as old as humanity itself, right? It is as old as the humanity itself. In the second unit, relationship of anthropology with other discipline. Relationship of anthropology with other disciplines. See, anthropology study humans, similarly sociology also study humans, psychology also study humans, history also study humans, right? Economics also study humans, religion, religious studies also study human, right? Political science also study humans. Then what does anthropology actually studies? Anthropology studies the totality of all, right? So that means anthropology overlap with all these disciplines, all these subjects. That is what we will going to understand, how it overlap, right? How it enrich, how various disciplines enrich our understanding about the mankind. That will be our purpose of study, right? 1.3, here main branches of anthropology, right? What are the main branches? There are 4 major branches of anthropology according to a famous American anthropologist, French Boas. That is physical anthropology, socio-cultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology and archaeological anthropology. These are the 4 major branches. So we'll try to understand what these branches are, what these branches tries to understand, right? How they study, what is their relevance, that will be our purpose. Then in the unit 1.4, in the unit 1.4, basically we have human evolution and emergence of men, right? Here we will try to understand the biological aspect, organic evolution, or you can say biological evolution, right? How humans evolved, right? So here not only we understand the factors responsible for this, right? But we will also understand how our understanding about these factors have improved, right? Our understanding, so this our understanding about these factors is basically through the contribution of some scholars, right? Who are these scholars? These scholars try to understand, these scholars try to give some theories to understand the organic evolution. You might have heard that earlier we think that man is created by the God. So we have the explanation that everything is created by God, but that understanding is not proper, right? It is not scientific. Then some scientific theories came, Lamarck's theory, right? Darwin's theory, then finally synthetic theory, right? These theory tries to understand that how organisms evolved, right? And in turn, yes, how humans evolved, right? So here our purpose is to understand what are the various factors responsible for evolution, whether only biology or genetics is responsible for evolution or culture is also responsible for evolution, right? See, basically if you see my face, we have a very small face as compared to our head size, right? But if you compare me with a chimpanzee, you will find that their jaw part, their facial part is much larger than their head part. How does this change occur? Is it because of biology only, or there is some cultural elements into it? See, basically we humans, when we stand erect, we started thinking, so our brain grows in size, right? When we have to collect food, we have to recall the information in the jungle environment, so our brain size increased. The frontal brain, it increased in size. Secondly, we started manipulating tools, right? So when we started butchering the meat and making it soft, right? We started cooking the meat, it becomes further soft. When we eat the cooked food was softer, so the pressure on the jaws was limited. When there was limited pressure on the jaws, so this remodeling of face and teeth took place, right? So you can say the cultural factors like tool making, fire affected how I look today, right? So basically, don't you see that there is cultural aspect in the evolution as well as biological aspect, changes in the genes, because from one generation to the next generation, gene must transmit for the humans to be same, right? So what we can understand here is that biology and culture both affect each other, right? Both have you can say led to the development of the present stage, right? Evolution of men, right? After that, we will understand the primates in unit 1.5, right? Here we will try to understand primates, you can say our cousins, our genetic cousins, right? Here our purpose is to understand various primates, right? Their taxonomy. Taxonomy means the classification of primates, right? That includes lower primates like lemurs, lorises, tarsiers, that includes monkeys, that includes apes, right? So all these we will try to understand. We will try to understand their characteristics, their habitat, even how their behaviors are, right? So by understanding them, we will try to understand their anatomy, right? We will try to understand their behavior, right? Their habitat, right? Behavior, food, what they eat, how they mate, all these things. What is our purpose? Our purpose is to understand the evolution, right? By studying their anatomy, we can find similarities and differences in different primates, right? So our purpose is to understand evolution of man further, right? In much better detail. Well, by this we can conclude or we can disapprove whether, other primates like chimpanzees, they transformed into men, right? We understand their behavior, right? The way they behave, the way they eat, the way they mate, the way they fight, the way they show aggression, the way they show suffering, right? We study their habitat. We study their genetics also. Right? Genetic similarity and differences. We know that chimpanzee has 48 chromosomes and we humans have 46 chromosomes. So it is genetically very close to us. So our purpose is to understand that, right? Not only this, we will understand the extinct primate fossils also. Right? You might have heard the term Dryopithecus, Shivapithecus, Ramapithecus. All these we will try to understand their behavior, their culture, right, their fossil size, all these things we will try to cover here in this unit 1.5. Then we will understand in 1.6 the fossils of human ancestors, right, fossils of human ancestors as well as a primate ancestors, you can say, right. Man is also a primate, right. You can say we are a grown up, we are a evolved primate, we are a unique primate who have a ability to speak, who have a very complex brain, who have ability to manipulate objects, right. So here in this we will try to understand Australopithecus, right, where they emerged, right, their time period, in which time period they lived, in which region they lived, so geographical region, right. We will try to understand their anatomy, we will try to understand their behavior, right. By finding various bones and all these things, we can understand whether it was erect or semi-erect or perfectly erect, right. We can understand what it ate by visualizing, by doing some x-rays of the teeth, right. By understanding the bone and the roughness on that, we can understand whether it is male, female and all these things, we can decipher it, right. Then Homo erectus, Homo neanderthals, so all these fossils we are going to cover in this unit, and the main theme of study will be like this, right. After that we will try to understand in 1.7 biological basis of life, right. Here we will study cell, chromosomes, DNA, right. Within cell we have nucleus, nucleus have chromosomes, chromosome have DNA and histone protein, right. All these things, what is the function of DNA, what is the function of chromosome, what is the structure of chromosome, all these aspects will be covered, right. Here we will also talk about the protein synthesis, here we will also talk about mitosis, meiosis, right. All these things will be here, right. And finally the unit 1.8, unit 1.8 is archaeology, right. Here we try to understand the cultural evolution, right, cultural evolution of mankind. So various stages of evolution like Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic, Iron Age, etc. will be covered here, right. In a broader sense, if you look at unit 1, what you will broadly see that unit 1 talks about, one, basics of anthropology, second it talks about evolution, right. Unit 1 basically if you dissect it, so 1.1 to 1.3 is basics, and even basics are not complete here, right. From 1.4 to 1.7 you will see that it talks about biology and evolution, right. Especially if you say 1.6, 1.7 is just an exception, right, because it should have been before cultural evolution. So it talks about evolution, organic evolution, right, and 1.8 is cultural evolution, right. So here we are trying to understand in unit 1 the biological evolution and cultural evolution, how we as a biological being came into being, right, from where we came, right, what makes us like this, right, the biological aspect we will try to understand, and cultural aspect, cultural evolution, right, the evolution of cultures, right, different stages of cultural evolution, or you can say technological evolution, right, because if you say what is what do you say this Paleolithic to Mesolithic. What changed? The change was basically change of technology, refinement of tools, right? Better use of the tools that was there, right? More efficient tools. So there was improvement in technology, right? So everything will be there in unit 1, right? So this is for unit 1. We will keep on meeting, right, in different sessions. We will talk about the entire syllabus, and we will also talk about the papers of past year, so that you can understand how you can write an answer in anthropology, right? This is it for today. Thank you. All the best.